rebel roar, talking Star Wars legend like never before. Miniatures lined up in a galactic parade, painted armor shining, every move is weighed. Scout the shadows, roll the dice, legion battles in a galaxy twice as nice. Tiny troopers, epic fight, Shadow Scout 113, bringing worlds to life. The terrain is set, Imperials advancing, will they win the bet?
Okay, sorry about that chaotic. Whoa. Yeah. Let me bring my mic down just a hair, I guess. So yeah, sorry about that chaotic little bit of audio. I was trying to get a few things set up and I guess I didn't finish. So, yeah, what is up, everybody? I hope all of y'all have had a great week so far. I know that it's nice to get to see Anthony here and get to see Boo Radley, I think is Vagtaster, and then Pally, obviously. So, how are y'all doing? I know that this is going to be the last live stream for me for several months, and then I will be back. I want to make sure y'all are left with in some good hands, I should say, and you've got a lot of people. I'm glad that you can listen while you're doing your online Spanish class. Also, hola, señor, ¿cómo estás? That's all I know. Well, I know a tiny bit, but more French than I do Spanish. So today, I was going to go over some Rebel stuff and maybe some Shadow Collective, because I haven't gone over that in the last videos, I should say, in a while. So we'll kind of just, talk about some Rebels. So, yeah, I know. Not for a little while. Maybe we can see if Pally would like to do a live stream, or if we can get Graham, Canadian Bear, to do a live stream, or somebody else to do one, just to kind of keep the content for you guys going and have some fun being able to list build with you guys. I think that it would be at least great to be able to help people live and, just make sure that we're reaching people to be able to grow the game. I think that's the biggest reason that we want to make sure that this channel continues and we're all growing. So let's take a look at some Rebel stuff. I mean, we haven't done it in a long time, so let's see what we got. We will eventually get the new, Tauntaun Luke Skywalker, so I don't think that we've been able to really talk a lot about him. We've mentioned him, I guess, in some of the, mini extravaganza recaps and stuff, so we can kind of talk about him. I don't know how much he'll be. We can guesstimate, if you guys want to. And I think Pally people would like to hear your unhinged rants. I think it would make for some lively discussions, so I think that would be fun to do. But, okay, so Luke Skywalker on a Tauntaun. Speed 2, pretty big base. I forgot what the base size is. Let me put this in the Discord so that way I can also pull it up with or on here. I have to send it to myself again. And let me go to the live Q&A and post this photo because it is a good photo. And if you don't know how big the bases are for anything, this will be a great way to get an idea of, how far a unit can move based off of the base size. And let's see, if we go to here, yep, all right, so now we've got it live on here. And I know Anthony, yeah, he would definitely join a live stream with rants. I think it'd be great to see. So, come on, y'all. Y'all can work together. That's okay. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. So, as you can see in the visual below, The Tauntauns are a no bikes and taunts. Okay, yeah, bikes and taunts are a 50 millimeter base. So speed 2 is going to move about 6.5 inches. It's not like small bases because the small bases it's around out 4, 6, and 8. The notched bases you're still technically putting them in the notches, the movement tool, so they will still move about 6.5 inches. So if you're going to be moving 13 inches with Luke, and then you've got up to range 2, that's 12, so about, 25 feet. So just if it's range 4, you're going to be able to move, and still shoot. And you can still spotter one. You can still take cover one. So you're giving out a name and a dodge. And you can give them, obviously, to yourself. You can give them to anybody else. So this could be a good way to put him with a bunch of people. Or you can literally just decide to put him by himself. It's not really going to matter. So that's a cool thing. And I think he's going to work well with Ahsoka. So maybe, like, obviously, you're probably going to bring Han Solo on a Tauntaun. But I think being able to give Ahsoka a dodge for free before doing anything with the Take Cover 1 would be good. Now, we don't have, like, he's probably going to have a command slot, like Leia over here. Probably just one. And he's probably going to have a training slot. He should definitely have a gear slot. So, I mean, if anything, we can assume that he's going to have one of all of this. Maybe have a force slot? Sure. Can you imagine Luke Skywalker with force push on a Tauntaun? That'd be very, very interesting. But maybe he's going to have a force slot. Obviously, he's not going to be able to recover it. But if it's anything like, Commander Luke, then obviously, yeah, sure. So I'm going to assume he's probably going to be between 100 and 120 for sure. Okay, so maybe like between 115 and 125, maybe? Because of the amount of keywords that he can do. Inspire 2 is going to be really, really good. The Spur. So technically, if you want to Spur, the Tauntaun could move 8.5 inches. You're obviously giving yourself suppression. And you're only Courage 2. Oh, man. What? Yeah, because I'm not looking at Rebels quite often. I don't think he'd have a force slot in this instance. He could barely pull that saber to save himself. Anthony, I mean, that is possible. He might not have a force slot. This is, before he goes to Bespin and trains with Yoda. So, okay. Yeah, so the fact that it's before, it's not Bespin, before he goes to Dagobah to train with Yoda and before Bespin fight with Vader, he's probably probably not gonna have a force slot. You're probably right because it'd be too powerful. That'd be way too great, way too good. So yeah, he can move about 8.5 inches if you spur. You can't inspire yourself, so that's pretty tough. So you're probably not gonna be spurring very often. So you're probably more than likely gonna be moving 13 inches at a time, which I mean is still fairly good. But if you needed to, you could move 8.5 inches with that spur. Unhindered is obvious. It'd be cool if he had an overrun attack instead of just a melee. Like I would assume that he'd be able to use his lightsaber while riding his Tauntaun. I don't get that, but sure. And then lethal 1, so maybe I mean with Relentless you can obviously aim, move 8.5 inches, and then swing. But why not just spotter yourself, and then take cover to Ahsoka, he could probably work well with Cassian. And, hold on. Okay, so let's see. Han Solo. It's still Han Solo. And Chewie still has teamwork with Han Solo. So I guarantee you that the Han Solo on a Tauntaun will still have teamwork with Chewbacca. So I'm assuming that, you can still Guardian Han Solo and still get teamwork. So with the Commander Luke, you could, spotter one yourself, take cover and give a dodge to Han, and then with teamwork, you can still give it to Chewbacca. That would be pretty cool, I think. So, Yeah, I could. I mean, yeah, for sure. So Anthony's like, I could see him having a command card that also gives him an overrun attack. Yeah, that is definitely possible. I think that that would actually be a pretty good idea. If he has a 4 slot, he should be more than 120 at as that his commander league. Yeah, so I don't know if he'll have a command or sorry, a force slot. That would make him pretty tough. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so Chewbacca with teamwork with Han, because Han will have Arsenal 2, so he'll be able to basically throw a red, 2 white, 3 black in melee if he wanted to. And with Versatile, he can, melee with 2 black and a white, and then shoot someone else with Pierce 1. So Arsenal 2 is okay. I mean, it's almost like Gunslinger, but not quite. Charge is pretty good. It's no relentless, but whatever. Independent aim and dodge. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to give him an aim and a dodge. And if he's getting an aim and a dodge in Teamwork Chewie, then Chewie's always going to start with an aim and a dodge. So why not have those 3 together? So it might be a little bit more expensive, but let's just, keep these 3 together for now. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see them making a, anything that tells you that you cannot use Han Solo and Chewie's teamwork together with this one. But yeah, and I mean he's speed 2, and so if we just take a look real quick, so speed 2 is moving 6 inches. He's moving 6.5 inches. So if you obviously move once and then shoot, Chewie's going to be keeping up, and then the Guardian range is range 1, so it's not like you can't be a move behind to still get off that Guardian 4. And Chewie can probably still Guardian Luke. And again, so you could load up Han with as many aims and dodges as you want to because of, all right, so 1, you're going to get an aim and a dodge from Independent, give it to Chewie. Luke can then give a spotter and take cover to Chewie and or Han Solo, whoever he's closest to. Then the other's going to get it. So now you have 2 aims, 2 dodges on them. You have Han Solo with Pierce automatically. You don't have lethal, so it's not like you really need to give him a lot of aims. He's also surging to crit. Good lord. Rebels get all the insanely strong offensive power. Okay, maybe not the normal, troopers, because they don't surge to nothing. But the Rebel veterans surge to hit. These guys surge to hit. Mandalorian surges to hit. Rebel commandos surge to hit. Sleeper cells surge. All of these guys have pretty awesome capabilities of firepower. So, yeah. And then if you needed to, obviously Leia could be something pretty decent of take cover. And if you do that and you take cover to Han Solo, he's never taking any shots. He's 6 health. You just need something now to just inspire at that point. And because he's going to be taking a ton of suppression and no wounds. And with Uncanny Luck 3, yeah. Uncanny Luck, possibly 3 dodges, 2 aims, because Leia's probably going to take cover. I mean, she could take cover to Luke and Chewie, or Luke and Han, or Chewie and Han, and then now you've just given out 2 aims, or 2 dodges to Han. So, yeah, that's just insane. He's going to be very annoying on the table, I'm assuming. It's just a matter of, he's going to move 6.5 inches and then probably take a shot. So his threat range isn't really that far. It's about 18.5 inches, so just over range 3. Yeah, so as long as you're staying at range 4 of him, you're pretty good, because then he can't charge you, and he still has to just move once and then take that shot. So it will be a little bit harder for them to maneuver that way if you can stay at that range 4, but it just kind of depends, I guess. And then why not make this very thematic with some Rebel veterans? Boom. And maybe some Mark IIs. Oh, man. Okay. Rebel veterans, get rid of the pikes, get rid of the troopers. Boom, boom. And I'm assuming, improvised orders. Han Solo, we're going to say that this is going to total maybe 350 at least with the upgrades. So 350 on top of that, we're going to say is 700 flat, and you're at 8 activations. 700, you give yourself 2 of these guys, and why not throw in some air speeders? Plus 350, that's 865. 865, 990, 10 activations. 990, you still have maybe 10 points after, because if I'm going to say that, Luke's going to maybe just say come out to 130 and then Han Solo to 120. I mean, if not, it's not like you can't get rid of maybe one of the heavies or something like that, because you can always give like the free gun for the airspeeder. So, yeah. So I'm also assuming that Chewie's command cards still work for both. Probably, yeah. Chewie will be riding a Wampa to keep up. I mean, I can see that. That'd be funny. But, yeah, I'm assuming that the command cards of Chewie will still work with Luke and still work with Han. So, I mean, that would be very cool. And I'm also going to assume that they will be put into the Echo-based Defenders as possible commander and operative upgrades, or not upgrades, but commander and operative. So you're also going to be able to use the Battle Force stuff to help them. So, man, yeah, Rebels is going to be top tier again next year as well. I can already see it. Now, what I just do? Oh, that's what I did. All right, and then EBD stonks just went up. Yep, Echo-based Defenders is going to be insane next year. What's up, Kitsune? Little painter over here. If you haven't seen his stuff on the Discord, check it out. He does commission works as well, and he posts a lot of stuff in the Discord himself. And if you're a commission painter, by all means, post your stuff in the Discord. The Discord, okay, so with my Discord, it's not that I'm not going to be super strict about if you've got more Legion stuff like that you sell, that you paint. Like if you have Legion stuff, then by all means post in it. I know that most content creators, like Cockles or even the 5th Trooper stuff, like with Dash and all of them, I know that they're also in the Discord. They've been very nice and haven't just said, hey, stop looking at this and go see ours. And I even want, like Coco and all of them, and even Cockles, to post stuff in the Discord, because it's just a community thing. I don't really care to compete with people, because if people want to come watch, they'll come watch. If I'm good enough for people to watch, then my effort will be good enough for people to watch. If you don't want to watch me, then by all means, don't have to watch me. So I don't care if people want to post like, hey, go watch this or something like that. It's fine. Just don't be negative about content creators. We're putting our time and effort into all of this stuff. Okay. That is a lot of the Rebels with the new stuff. The Weequay Pirates, we can talk about some Shadow Collective now, and how they are the sad stepchild right now that's not getting much love at all, because there's not going to be any special, what are these called? Advantages? Wow. There's not going to be any special advantages for Shadow Collective, which is very, very sad. Maybe one of these years they'll come out with it. But that would be really, really nice. And then, we finally are getting Weequay Pirates. You can't use them in Shadow Collective, but at least we're going to get some tanks and Savage. So, at least there's something. Now, I think the tank will be good. I guess I can't really even do anything on here. I have to go back to Rebels, per se, to show off the Weequay and the Wheelo speeder tank. Let's go over the Weequay Pirates. So, Mercenary, obviously you can have 2 of them because they're core, and you can have them normally. And then you could also decide to attach Allies of Convenience to have a 3rd Weequay Pirates if you wanted. Charge is going to be finally fantastic to have. Independent Aim, which is really nice. Self-Preservation, obviously they can only be with a Weequay Pirate Captain, I mean, we've already got a capo. I don't know. But, yeah. Oh, Weequay was okay to be Shadow Collective, says Sean. Okay, but not Hondo. Okay, well, that would make sense. Then I don't know why Tabletop Admiral hasn't put them in the Shadow Collective yet. But, yeah, so Swashbuckler is a new one that we don't know yet. That one I will be excited to see when it comes out. Something to do with sword fighting and being really cool. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I already forgot what their models look like, but maybe we'll see something come out soon about what the Swashbuckler means. And there's only 4 of them. And then you add a heavy and then a personnel. So maybe you can have 2 personnel. That would be nice, because then you can have up to 6, 7 Weequay pirates. And with them really being white saves, courage 1 health each, it's Shadow Collective, we need some help here. Alright, and then the Speeder Tank. Whoop whoop. Armor 5, Arsenal 2, Hover Ground, so it's going to block line of sight. Transport, so you're going to be able to move those Weequay pirates with charge up quite a bit. You can have 2 of them. Weak point is the rear, so now you don't have to worry about those sides, which is so tough to worry about. Especially with how long and narrow it is, those sides are easy to hit. So the anti-personnel lasers, 2 white, 3 black. You don't surge. This is rough. Maybe they'll give you a pilot that allows you to surge like the Hammers pilot. That would be cool. I doubt it, but that would be cool. The heavy laser cannons, impact 2, range 1 to 3. That's definitely needed. Well, actually, I should say, okay, so in Shadow Collective, every unit basically has a way to impact. The Black Sun have impact 3, I think. The Pikes have impact 1 on their long guns. The Mandos have impact on their jetpack rockets. You've got the AA5 speeder truck that has an impact gun. The speeder tank here will have an impact gun. And then I think, Scar Saxon has the rockets, which have impact as well. Maul has impact. So it's not like we're really lacking impact. So Shadow Collective is actually a pretty decent way to combat impact if you can fit the points in there, which is what I really like about them. And then again, free tokens is always a bonus, always a plus. I think that, that's going to be well worth it to have, especially with the new 212 against Tempest, all that stuff. And then Blast is also another insanely good keyword. So I wish that there was a way to get Blast on here. But with Arsenal 2, range 1 to 2, range 1 to 3, there's probably another way to get a gun on here. Because you've got the gun on top, and then you've got is there guns on the side? Have we looked at all of this? Do we know? Let's go to Google, and let's hit that. Let's go WLO speeder tank. There we go. All right, let's look at some images here. Let's do our due diligence and looking to see... are these guns on the side? I can't really quite tell. Speeder tank. There's a lot over here. Good lord. Let's get rid of all these pop-ups. These annoying pop-ups. Goodness. Holy crap. Okay, so I guess that's the only... Okay, well, let's go back, shall we? Let's get rid of this. Okay. Okay, so there it is. All right, so you've got the guns on the front, gun up top. These don't look like guns at all. So, yeah, door gunner? I guess you can put door gunner on there because it is a transport. And, yeah, so, interesting. Weequay, I think they'll have multi-model personnels like ARFs. I think so, Sean. I think so too, but I guess we'll see soon. But yeah, so I'm assuming they're only going to really have those 2 guns and then a door gunner. Arsenal 2 is not going to be too bad. Aha! There is the actual AMG Legion Yeah, well, I guess you can't really see the guns on the front from this angle. Okay. And if those are guns right here on the side, then that could give you 3. But I don't know. That's a good question to ask at some point. But yeah, hopefully they have one more gun. It'd be really nice. But yeah, because range 1 to 3 is still so tough. It's 10 health, 1 under from an ATST, breaks at 6, which is way faster than an ATST. And it doesn't have a compulsory move, which really, really sucks. So it'd be really nice if we could actually get, a speeder that has a compulsory move. You would think that, speeder in the name, you would get a compulsory move, but I guess not. All right, so that can be used in any of them. Obviously, you can only have one of them, but it is really nice for Gar to have another cheap unit of speeder tanks. And I think that if, no matter what faction you have, being able to get this tank would probably be worth it, especially with it being a transport. It's pretty well worth it. So yeah, let's talk about list building in Mercenary. Gar Saxon has gone down in points. His rifle now is only 10 points. Flame projector is 5. And let's see, what else would we bring? I like bringing emergency stems and offensive push. And it could be cool to have extra supplies on there, but that's 124 points for a 2 courage, 5 health commander. Allies of Convenience really does help. Compel is extremely promising with the fact that you've got Courage 1 units, and Compel could be used for any of them. Impervious does help a lot, and Sharpshooter 1 is pretty good, especially with the fact that the sniper rifle, having high velocity, lethal 1, and long shot is pretty good. I've never really used the aim for long shot, and I don't think necessarily you need it unless round 1 you're able to get an aim on him, and then you decide to move onto the board and then take a shot, and then spin it for long shot. That's the only time really that you would use long shot for, unless like he is on a flank of the table and you're really trying to shoot into the middle of the board or like on the farther edge. Now he could be pretty decent. Well, never mind, because you have a commander for outflank on the side. And then Cad Bane. Ooh, Cad Bane for outflank. Let's take a look at this. So, battle plans. You can't have a commander, but everyone else. Starting with the blue player, each blue player chooses 3 that are going to be gaining a Vanguard token. Okay. Now, what would be very interesting is having 2 Weequay pirate speeder tanks with the Vanguard token and a Cad Bane with a Vanguard token, because Cad Bane with the Vanguard tokens, you could put 3 of those 3 tokens from his 3-pip on each of the, your Vanguard side, your opponent's Vanguard side, and the middle for your opponent. And obviously they don't know which one's which, and it's a really good bluff either one. They're really never going to know which one's what, because sure, you've already got 2 tanks you have 10 health each that are transports, so you're going to be bringing 4 units onto that side of the table with the tank. So now you've got 4 units on that side. If you wanted a 5th, you could, because obviously Cad Bane could have it, and you could just give it to him somewhere. And, man, yeah, because then maybe you don't worry about your middle for now. You worry about your opponent's Vanguard side, and you bomb your opponent's Vanguard side because you want to get rid of those tokens, because it doesn't say you can get them back. And then you put your Cad Bane on your opponent's middle, because then you can send your tank over. So second round, you score the middle because they've probably put as many possible units going to this side, and then there are 3 units over here. And so with your tank having Arsenal 2, and you've got 2 of them, plus 2 Weak Way Pirates that have charge, you're going to be able to handle this hopefully by itself. You put Cad Bane over here, and everyone go in there. You put a bomb there, and maybe if you have enough activations, you could do some speeders. And if you had some speeders, they could try to do what they could to take out at least 1 unit with a Vanguard token. If they have 3 of them, then you're going to have to take away, try to do your best to take away 2. But the bomb could take away half of a unit, then speeders could probably try to finish it off, especially with the overrun attacks. And then you've definitely secured your Vanguard tokens because your tanks could probably stay alive for a little while, albeit you don't have, sadly, any way to heal tanks and vehicles in Shadow Collective, which really does suck. But, it is what it is. And then you send Maul maybe in the middle here, down the middle with maybe some Mandos. I doubt you're going to have the points for all of that, but at least maybe you've got some Black Sun that could come over on this side, and then you've got your 2 tanks and 2 Weak Way Pirates coming over here, and you've got maybe Maul, or Cad, I should say, instead of Maul, going down over there. Yeah, it could just be a lot of fun. It could be something that is going to be insane. So, alright, so I am curious where it falls in points-wise. Yes, me too. I think that, the tank could be pretty expensive. The rifle helps with shifting quite a bit, yes. Bossk is better with Gar Saxon, I'm assuming, yes. And Cad hates orders, yes. Yes, he does. It's not. You could give the 3-pip where he doesn't have the order, and you could just have your opponent reveal him, give him his 2 dodges, give him his Vanguard token, and then now he's really good to go. But couldn't just not issue orders to Cad anyways. You could, yeah, you don't have to issue orders to him. I feel like Gar using his 1-pip with Cad to finish a bounty would be very interesting. Yes, it would be. That's why I think, we haven't seen a really good Shadow Collective list that utilizes bounty very well. So I think it would be pretty cool to have, Cad and Bossk and Gar Saxon together. Because now you've got at least some firepower. You have a flamethrower. And you've got some surging to crit, for sure, with at least a little bit of sharpshooter and pierce. So I think that you're going to be able to take away some stuff, some of your opponent's commanders. It really just depends, though, if they've got backup. Because, obviously anything beyond range 2, you're just going to definitely take away some hits. Cheap buses are good in Shadow Collective due to no repair. I agree. I've taken naked buses before where you're really just using them for line of sight blockers, or even if you just had a medic on there, your opponent then chooses, well, dang, no matter what, once around, they're going to heal back a mini, and then they still have scoring units that still block line of sight. Or do I go ahead and take out the buses, but now I have a whole army coming at me? Because it's not like the bus is a real threat, the fact that it doesn't have any weapons on there. So, it just kind of depends on what you're really trying to get done. I even think naked buses will be fine, having Vanguard tokens if they need, because, they're going to finally shoot them, but then hopefully if you've got Weak Way Pirates that have an extra, duo on there or something like that, then that could work really, really well. Let's see. Let's do AMG Weak Way Pirates. How do we spell this right now? What are we doing here? Wee. Weak Way Pirates. And I'm typing with fingers because my hands are full. I've got a pen in my hand. So I apologize for typing super slow. Aha, voila. Let's take a look at this real quick. So I forget quite often. I don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. Don't need any. Okay, well, let's just take a look at it. So you've got your your commander, which I'm going to assume, okay, this one's it. All right, well, I think they said you can make him into a normal commander guy if you wanted to. That's how I said. We say we have one commander. We have our then unit of 4 right here, right? Okay. Well, we have 2 extra guys. We have a 3rd extra guy, actually, and then 2 heavies. So I wonder if you'll be able to bring like a squad of 3 with your commander, and then you have a heavy option. So you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a squad, and then your heavy could be 8, and then that's why. So if there's 8 guys and they're all shooting 2 each, so that's 16 dice. I mean, I can see why they decided to change cover at that point. So yeah, so the Hondo kit has a torso for a genetic weak way. Okay, so that's what I was assuming. That's what I thought I heard. So yeah, and then did they change command cards? Do you still have to issue orders? Gar can only issue orders to troops. Yeah, Gar Saxon can still issue orders to anybody with his Allies of Convenience. One of his command cards, though, limits it to range 2. So that way, if you have a lot of cards, or a lot of your units outside of range 2, they still get independent tokens, which is fine. And then the card effect still happens. So that's still good. And then Gar's 3-pip, I believe, gives Indomitables if they stack suppression on CAD, they can get it off easy. But I think that's only to... the Mandos. His 3-pip, victory or death, 2 trooper units. Yeah, so special forces units gain Indomitable. So, Hondo, no, Cad Bane would not gain Indomitable. And then the Hondo kit, torso. Yep, I assume pirate kit will too. Yep. Gotta head back to work. All right, man. Thanks, Anthony, for joining in. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. So yeah, 16 dice with the pirates if you're bringing 3 extra guys, because obviously, I mean, sure, say that this is your actual commander and you're able to bring in the box of weak way pirates, if you're able to bring and this is your commander, then you can have a squad upgrade of 4. So maybe they'll say, all right, well, here's 4 that you can bring. Oh, 5. 5, yeah, 5. Because say that this is your 4 in normal, and then you have a squad upgrade of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and squad of 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, never mind, because those are the 2 heavies. All right, whatever. So yeah, squad of 3, whatever, 4. Say that this is almost your entire squad minus 1. So yeah, okay. The versatile is interesting for the pirates. Yeah, I think that, we'll be able to see a lot of what they can do later. I'm excited to hear about Swashbuckler and what Swashbuckler can do. And the fact that you can bring them, good lord, okay, the fact that you can bring them and possibly have, 2 units that are throwing around 16 dice, and then you also have the sleeper cells that are going to be throwing a crap ton of dice surging to hit, and then maybe you bring a few more fleet troopers that are throwing a crap ton of dice with Cassian. Good. Oh my goodness. If you've got rebels, you've invested very well. I sold my rebels to Grant, and I don't know if that was a big mistake or not. I mean, obviously I had no room for them, and I was never really going to invest more because I just invested a crap ton into Gar, or the Republic, and I still have a ton of Shadow Collective and Empire, and I'm going to keep investing in Empire, but I just need to go get more units of them. Do you feel the bring enough to replace fleets? Wait, hold on. Do you feel you're going to have to repeat that. But, yeah, I think Rebels is so good. You're going to... Tom Cockles, what's up, bro? What have I missed? Well, we've talked about the speeder tank. We've talked about the weak way pirates. We've talked about the new commander and operative Han Tauntaun units. The fact that Chewie is going to be doing a lot with the Tawns. So, like, obviously, you've got Han Solo, still Han Solo, and Chewie still has teamwork with Han. And with Han Solo having independent aim and dodge, now Chewie's going to have independent aim and dodge. Well, not independent. You can give Chewie an order, and he's still going to get an aim and a dodge each time. And then Luke Skywalker can hand out more of those to Chewie or Han, and then share those tokens, and then that's insane. And yeah, no, it's going to be really crazy. And then, yeah, no, that'd be pretty fun. Oh, you're good, Sean. Evening Cockles, I enjoyed your interview with AMG. Yeah, no, that was a really good one. I'm going to have to finish it. So I'm excited to finish watching that. I feel like I had this conversation with you before you sold them. I think you did, maybe. I don't remember. Pally. So many spoilers. Yeah, I know. I'm excited to continue watching, like I said, because you guys asked some pretty good questions. So I'm excited to kind of finish it out. So, yeah, I think that Rebels is going to be really, really good. We've talked about Pirates, and I was trying to show, if this is your unit leader and you've got your squad of 4, you have 4 extra guys that you're going to be able to bring, possibly. So I don't know if it's going to be duo or technically like a squad upgrade of 4 and then a heavy, so that you could bring, like I said, 16 to 18 dice, because if you have 2, 4, 6, 8, and then you bring a squad of 4, that's 16, and then a heavy, not excluding the gun one. If you just brought this one, that's at least 18 dice that you're shooting at range 2, and then not to mention in melee, they're all shooting, I think, 1 or something along those lines. Whoa! Where'd it go? Yeah, one black dice, which is still pretty decent in melee, and at least the versatile is pretty nice. So yeah. And like I had mentioned, actually, Cockles, right before, if you're in the Discord and you wanted to post something about either the interview, something that one of your videos that helps out people, feel free to post it in the Discord, because again, I want to make the Discord a community thing, to where people who are in the Discord are able to get the most amount of knowledge possible, because I actually absolutely love sharing knowledge and sharing the ability to grow. And so, yeah, anything that you have that will help the community, interviews, videos, feel free to post them in there under, what is it? I guess it depends. Oh, yeah. And if you need to go to live Q&A, this is on there as well. The Chosen One actually put something in here for Rebels, like the Luke Skywalker. Yeah, so that's 800 points, but you've got Han Solo, the Reluctant Hero, which is probably going to be 120. Luke Skywalker could be 130 with upgrades now, possibly. So I'm assuming 150, and you've got about 50 points over. So, yeah, we'll see about that. But, yeah, so Cockles, if you wanted to post anything, you could post it in the general chat here. We probably need to make something, or announcements. I guess I need to give you the ability to make announcements or something like that. That way you can actually use this. So I'll figure out how to post you in here, Cockles, so that you can actually do something about it. And post your videos and whatnot. So that would be helpful. So yeah, that would be nice to have. So Cockles, I will answer your question on the Discord whenever we're finished. I don't think I'll be able to make it, and I'll tell you why whenever we're there, but I wish I could. That would be absolutely amazing to be a part of. So, yeah, guys, y'all have any, questions, any things that y'all are interested in, again? Yes, I will definitely edit the server roles and give you the ability to post in the announcements. So let's see. I wish I had a third to give it a try, a third ISP to do triple ISP. Yeah, no, I think that would be pretty cool in whatnot, in the 212th. I'll throw a list. Now, Cockles, I think, are you going to be at the team's tournament? I think you maybe have talked about that before. I know Coca-Cola has actually talked about some of the teams that are going to be there. I'm not exactly sure when it is. I forgot to check the link that he sent me. So you'll have to show me what you guys are going to be doing, because I think that they are public now at this point. Actually, let me just see real fast. Maybe I can look at this. 12/8. Oh, wait, that is today? April 30th, 2026. Okay, so yeah, Cockles, I mean, you'll have to enlighten me on that, on, everything going on with the team. So you are a captain, and yes, you are going to be there. Sean, real quick, Shadow Collective Mall, cheap, alpha, or heavy investment version do you prefer? I think the cheap investment is probably more worth it, honestly. As much as I love putting Force Push on Shadow Collective Mall, I think a missile, having him as a missile, is probably more worth it. So let's take a few quick builds for Maul. So Maul with Burst of Speed and Choke is probably going to be the best, with maybe Tenacity and the Darksaber. 176. And you infiltrate him in, Burst of Speed him, and if you can't make it, you Force Choke, and you then recover. And then second round, you can play the 3-pip, give him tons of surges, and now he's in the middle of your opponent's army and now soaking up a ton of different tokens. And then you can go with him after the first shot at you, I'm sure, if you weren't able to get into melee, and then you Force Choke again. You already have an aim off of the card technically already, so you Force Choke, you can recover, and then you can maybe dodge and swing. If you needed to aim again, you could, but you're throwing 7 dice since you're already wounded, and technically you would have Cunning, so you would be able to go first if it was a 3-pip tie. So this is a really good one. I've seen work very well. And you definitely, torpedo him into where the most expensive units are that you can Force Choke, like Arcs or Mandos, anything like that that's really tough to take down. You can do that. Even with Dark Troopers, since they're trooper units technically, you can still Force Choke one of them, and then you have Impact 2 on here with Pierce 2, and you can still do quite a bit of damage to them, even though they're probably going to try to hit you back. But at the end of turn 1, you've given them 1 wound. The beginning, you've already put in a second wound, taken out a Dark Trooper, and now you have Impact 2, Pierce 2, so you're taking out a second Dark Trooper with Maul, which is pretty good, probably. But my favorite version of Maul that I've enjoyed using is a lot more expensive. He's 204 points, because you've got Into the Fray, Force Push, and Choke, so quite a bit more expensive, about 30-something points more. So yeah, that's a lot tougher. He does need push to keep him alive. It just kind of depends on how you want to use him, and I guess what you're trying to build. This version of Maul that I'm showing now is the version I took to a tournament, and it did really well. Whenever I was able to actually play him, there was 2 games that I was winning until the last round, and I literally dropped the bomb and forgot that your opponent could pick it up. So that one is literally always going to eat me alive, because I should have won that one for sure. And then one against Noah, if I was able to just take out that one commando, it would have been a whole different ball game. I would not have let him score inside of my deployment zone with sweep and clear, and it would have gone a whole lot differently. So it wasn't necessarily the fact that Maul was more expensive and doing not great for me. He did roll some crappy rolls for sure, and was not able to take out Arcs because of that Impervious and Yoda being right there and a whole bunch of stuff. But for the most part, yeah. I like Saber Throw on a non-Dark Saber, Sean. Yes, that is another really good way to play him. Like if you wanted to play him, and real quick, so Bear, hey, is this open stream? Like come up and chat. Don't worry if not. Yes, it is. Yeah, feel free to chat. I'm looking at the chat to make sure that I'm answering questions if you have any. I'm also here to, like, if you've got, a question about a list, like if you want help on something, I will definitely try to help you as much as I can. Pulling in a unit who's gone into melee so he can't be shot. Yes, that is another great way of using force push. Another one is like if your opponent has outstretched at least 3 inches out of their deployment zone round 1, you can force push them into you for the most part, and then still swing round 1, and that way you don't have to have burst. And the reason I have push is because I didn't want burst. Yeah, so that was mostly another reason why I had to push. And when I've been playing Maul, the force push on him is so much fun. It is so much fun. It's game-changing, game-winning for sure. And I think that it really works well with him. Now, if you don't want the Darksaber, I think Into the Fray is pretty good. Tenacity, obviously, he's a little bit better because you're throwing more dice. You're probably, again, bringing, Saber Throw and Force Choke, making him a little bit cheaper at 171. But you lose out on the Cunning and the Surge to crit, which is pretty tough. But obviously, it doesn't really matter because you're going to throw 4 red dice. You do have a 3-pip that allows you to Surge. You have another card that gives you an aim for free. You have another card that gives you a dodge for free. And, yeah, it just kind of depends. Yeah, you have a 1-pip that gives you an aim, another 1-pip that gives you a dodge. You have a 2-pip that gives you a dodge. So Tenacity could be pretty good. I just think, Into the Fray is probably a little bit better to keep him alive, and it makes him cheaper at 169. And this also allows you to play Peekaboo, because then you can move. You can then second action Saber Throw, and then your third action you can move back into cover. And the Saber Throw is still Pierce 2, Impact 2. So that is a really good way to kind of, peekaboo and try to get some hits in. So Bear, yeah, so you can post in chat. I think the other thing you can do is if you really wanted to, you could post in the live Q&A. I've been mostly focused on YouTube right now because not as many people are in the live Q&A on the Discord. But yeah, again, if you've got questions for any kind of Legion stuff, whatever, that's primarily what I'm trying to answer. But I guess if you've got something you're trying to chat about, just let me know. I do have about 5 to 10 minutes left. If you've got a question or if you've got something that you're trying to ask, feel free to ask away, sir. I'm happy to help however I can. Yeah, the Peekaboo harassment is crazy. Is pretty good. But yeah, the Saber Throw is pretty decent. If you wanted to, you could also, instead of Force Choke, bring Burst of Speed, and that could do really well. To get him in, but I think Force Choke is way more powerful, and it's better to have on him because it's a free wound. It's almost like having Pierce 3 when you have it up. The only issue is that if you're playing Sweep and Clear, choke first and then swing, because you don't get the Sweep and Clear point from Force Choke. You actually have to do an attack to get the Sweep and Clear, points. So just make sure that you use Force Choke first. Any other questions? I really like, taking these questions and talking about, these units and stuff. And if Cockles, if we were able to get you on a little earlier, it would have been cool to get you on live again and just chat about some stuff. Get you to do some more chatting on here. Show us your American Southern accent. But, bless us with your British accent. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely have made that mistake. I didn't make that mistake yet because I just wasn't able to get that Sweep and Clear point. I wasn't able to really use that force push and get them into, their deployment zone and do it. You just want my accents out. Yes, because why not? You got to grace us with your talk. If the Gav was a sandwich, what kind would it be? The Gav tank, a sandwich. Let's take a look real quick. All right. Well, it's red saves, so that's at least got something going for it. 8 health red saves, breaks at 6, pretty decent. The issue is the twin cannons. It doesn't offer much. It's a big sandwich, but it doesn't have a lot in it. So that's, ugh. It is a transport, so I mean, it does help. So, I mean, it's got some sesame seeds on it, sure. Reposition's pretty good. Arsenal 2's decent. You can put some weapons on there, but even these weapons, it's like 2 dice. 4 dice, but 3 white. And you really have to give them the Amherst Pilot. So it's not a very good sandwich, I will admit that. But it's a sandwich that kind of leaves you wanting more. I'm trying to figure out how I would. So, onion sandwich, okay. No one will touch it. Yes, basically. 3-day-old egg salad. Yep. So an onion sandwich on a French armpit baguette. Possibly. Can Dark Troopers be transported? They cannot, because I think it's only core special forces that can be transported. I think those are the only things that can be transported now. So that really does make the Dark Troopers way worse, because I played against James in my first tournament in Jacksonville, and he had a double Gav tank, double Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and we played Recover the Supplies, and he just took off with the supply crates, and I was not able to do anything, even with Mandos. So, pretty tough. But yeah, the Gav tank, sandwich-wise, it's like not even Subway level. It's, yeah, you're going to have to get a whole nother type of stuff sandwich for that. It's like not even a good homemade sandwich. It's like something that's edible. I mean, if you like it, I don't know I'm not good with food. I literally eat the same thing. I think I've eaten the same breakfast for what? Not even, let's see, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, because I had to compete in competitions for bodybuilding. So for the most part, I just eat 6 eggs. I eat 6 eggs, 2 egg yolks, and I grate my cheese. And so I give myself like 3 to 4 little grates. And yeah, that's been my breakfast for however many years at this point. I usually just stick to the tried and true. So double Gav tank is meta. Someone call up Dave Grant. Yeah, I know, right? If only. Let's see what we can do with the WLO speeder tank. Hopefully we can actually make this thing good. I mean, 10 health is no joke. Just a jelly sandwich. Fine, but not feeling and feels like it's missing something. And I think it's a jelly sandwich with, again, like sesame seeds. Or maybe it's a peanut butter sandwich, and it has like some bananas in it, and it's crunchy peanut butter. Maybe try that. I would love to see... Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to tell the guys to either get you, Cockles, or Dave Grant to do an interview, because I think we need to hear some really good Empire stories from Dave Grant to kind of hype up the Empire. Just got cleared to start lifting again, so looking forward to it. Congrats, man. Great job. Hopefully you lift really heavy, safely, with good form. Form is everything. I would make sure that you don't worry about reps as much as you worry about form and going slowly. The last time I competed, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was literally in 2018 and 2019 that I competed. So, geez, it was like 6 and 7 years ago. And I looked a whole lot different than I do now. I am 50 pounds heavier than my competition photos. And because I was 155 in my competition photos. And on stage, I was 155. And usually I was about 180 starting, and now I'm 205, and I've definitely put on way more size and way more strength. Curling 50s is so much easier. Curling 45s is, again, like fairly decent. It was a wrist injury, so I have to have a slow start. Yeah, man, just keep a brace on for now. Don't go heavy. Watch your grips. Watch the way that you've got your palms, and just find a trainer if you can. They're going to give you so much better ideas. I've taken it off my trainer. I've shut down my training business for now, and I've shut down my drone business as well for now. So yeah, it is just straight up other stuff that I will try. Yeah, hey, Clan of Shadows lift session next Crucible. If I can make it to Crucible next year, which I really hope I can, whatever hotel that they're staying at, because it's at a new place, it's not going to be at the Hilton Head or whatever it is, the Hilton in front of the Orlando studio or whatever that is, the Universals. It's not going to be in front of Universal next year. It's at a different hotel. So yeah, if they've got a good gym, we can get a good session in next time. I think it'll be good. I'll get you guys trained up, and we'll have a huge Clan of Shadows lift, and we'll get it picture for the Discord. Yeah, man, I think you should come out of New York and come to Florida anyway. Florida is awesome. I think that being able to just lift in general is really healthy for you, and that even if you were to just do cardio, I mean, it's fine. But yeah, some sort of lifting, with your wrist injury, Sean, you probably, if you can get the perfect push-ups, or if you can get dumbbells to do push-ups off of, and keep instead of like doing your palms like this and doing push-ups, that you keep your wrist like this specifically, to try to keep it straight as you do your push-ups. Okay, I'll stand by, because Cockles is making a Gav list. So I will show that off to the world in just a second. And we will see what our chunky peanut butter banana sandwich looks like. Can I still lift if my lungs are glued to the top of my chest cavity and not free floating like everybody else? Can you run, Pally? If you can, let me know if you can run. I'll try to convince my wife to make a Florida trip. Yeah, man, I'll bring my wife too, and they can hang out and talk and go do something as we work out. Are there any tips for someone who's intermediate, someone who might give their first attempt at competitive bodybuilding? Naturals. All right, so I went into a naturals organization and won my very first competition in first place. It was OCB. And, I mean, if you guys want a photo, I will give y'all a photo. Let's see. Let me get this for you guys, and I'll post it in the live Q&A, since that's kind of what we're talking about here. So we'll go to files. Let's see here. I'll show you my first competition and second competition. And y'all are chatting away in the live Q&A. This is a really good one. Okay, so haven't really tried to run, honestly, since everything broke 20 years ago. Well, can you get on a treadmill or an elliptical? If you can get on a treadmill or elliptical, that would help. I used to have a 4:57 mile. That was insane mile time. Now I'm wheezing after a block, but I'm also 2 decades out of shape. Well, start slow. That's what I would say, is you got to start slow. You got to make sure that you don't just go crazy out of the gate. You gotta kind of be nice to yourself. All right, so live Q&A. If you guys were ever wondering, this is the first competition I ever did where I won first place on the left, and this was 6 months later, and on OCB. I coached myself. I did my own diet plan. I just had a posing coach, someone who kind of helped me refine posing to make it look natural and easy. So, I did all of the diet and workout plans. I did it myself. So yeah, that is it. running is a no-go for me, but biking works, so I do that. Yeah, stick to biking for now. And yeah, so I would just make sure that, you're doing your best to just eat right. You have to, I've set up, and I guess we've taken a huge turn here. Okay, and then next list, the next one, these are 6 months apart as well. This is the back, just in case as well. Thank you, Boo Radley, for the lat spread thing. It was really fun. I mean, I love competing. So there are 5 general rules that I tell every one of my clients and tell everybody when it comes to trying to lose weight, burn fat, and get into really good shape. And those 5 things are: 1, you have to find out how many calories you're supposed to have a day. So if you can take in, 3,000 calories, then what I would suggest is, okay, you need to eat 2,500 calories, and that's to lose some weight, because you need to have a 500 calorie deficit a day in order to lose that weight. Secondly, you have to know your macros, and you've got to figure out what your best carbs, fats, and protein breakdown should be. And you need to pick one energy source. You have to have carbs and protein or fats and protein, and you can only do that. So like if you look on the left was all carbs and protein. On the right, it was all fat and protein. So it doesn't matter what energy source you choose, you just have to choose one. Thirdly, you need to eat based on your circadian rhythm. So usually what you do is you wake up and then you spend a lot of energy doing stuff. And then what you do is you then get home and then you do nothing. So if you wake up, you eat, you go to work, you then work out, which gives you even more. And then you get home and then your expenditure goes straight down. You need to prepare for that. So you have to eat based on your circadian rhythm. So you need to eat a pretty big breakfast. You need to eat an even bigger lunch, and then your dinner needs to be really, really tiny. And that's what I did. My dinner was 2 protein bars and this is the 4th thing. You have to intermittent fast. So I would eat around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I would stop at 2 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock, depending on the schedule. And so I would eat 8:16 or 6:18. So I would eat for 8 hours, fast for 16 hours, or I would eat for 6 hours and fast for 18 hours. And then I would also kind of do like walking for 30 minutes uphill. And I would just make sure that you're eating based on your circadian rhythm in the time that you're allowed to eat when you're fasting, making sure that you are eating the correct carbs, fats, and proteins, picking a high energy source, so either 35% carbs, 35% protein, 30% fat, and you're eating the calories that you're supposed to have, and that is really all that you need to do. That's it. That's what you need to think about. So we were sent a Gav Tank list from Cockles, so let's take a look at this, shall we? And then we will finish up. So we've got Grand Moff Tarkin, who is naked for now. You have Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is naked for now, because we don't know the points. We don't know what they can have. And it's 825 out of 1,000, so we still have about 175 points left over, just in cases for Admiral Thrawn and Grand Moff Tarkin. You have Commander Vader, which is, you know me, not the best one, but hey, it works. It works. Because of Entourage, you can have 3 commanders. You have Burst of Speed, Force Choke, and Force Push. You have 2 normal Stormtroopers, the T-21. You've got Riot Squad with Callus, KX, and Imperial March, which I think is going to be the standard build from now on. You've got another one with the normal KX series and Imperial March. Then you've got 2 Dewback Riders with the T-21 blasters. And then you've got one Gav Tank. Okay, one Gav Tank with the the Imperials, Hammer Pilot, Onboards, Comm Channel, and Door Gunners. So, I'm assuming, Cockles, that you are putting in the Gaff tank the Agent Callus Riot Squad, if I'm not mistaken. And then, are you infiltrating Darth Vader? And of course, Boo, if I hope that all that info helps. And if you've got more questions, just let me know before next Monday, I should say. Run up 1 riots and tank. Yes. Are you putting the Agent Callus in the tank, or are you putting the normal KX series droid riot squad in the tank? Okay. And then what objectives are you trying to take with this? Because you're trying to run up riots in one tank, and then you're trying to plod up the other squad to mop. Yes. I'm interested to see kind of like what your game plan is. Callus in the tank to dish out potential immobilizes. Yes, for sure. I wish you do have pulling the strings on Grand Moff Tarkin, so maybe you could like pull the strings to recover Callus if you were close enough, obviously, to give him the ability to use that immobilize a second time. That would be pretty good. And then, 10 activations is pretty good. And you have Grand Admiral Thrawn and Tarkin. I'm assuming they're trying... Grand Admiral Thrawn is not around Vader, while Moff Tarkin is around Vader. Grand Admiral Thrawn is probably around the, Dewbacks or Gav Tank or the Stormtroopers? Callus, so many tricks. Yes, you do have so many tricks in here. I'm just trying to... For some reason, I don't know why Empire seems so underwhelming at the moment. This list probably is not underwhelming by any means. I guess it just depends. Because, you can immobilize Vader's prey before Vader gets there. So that way, they're stuck dealing with Vader. And then maybe if you have pulling the strings and Grand Moff Tarkin is moving up the board, you could, force the Riot Squad with Agent Callus to recover the immobilize token ability back, or take a standby. Heavy turn 5 play involving Tarkin and Implacable. Yes. Okay. I'm assuming because of the card that was revealed for him. So, yeah. The better version of this is the double lat list with TIE Pilot. Yeah, okay, because you're moving in the riot squads fairly quickly with the speed 3 and their big base. I've done that. You do a double lat. So I'll do that real quick, actually. You do, for Empire, you do double lats with Onboards Comm Channel. And let's see. So Onboards, you do the TIE Pilot, and let's just say armor-piercing shells. You do Veers because of the guidance ground vehicle. If you wanted to, you can guidance a standby or recover action for the armor-piercing shells. And then, let's see, let's put Door Gunners on there for sure. Get a little bit of extra, stuff. You've got 2 riot squads. You both have the KX series droids on them, and one of them has Agent Callus. They both have, I should have did that first, Imperial March. You then have a set of Snows, because you cannot go a list without Ion. And then give them Imperial March for fun. And then Operative Vader, because it's the better Vader. Fight me. You can use Choke, because you can infiltrate, and then you have Push on him, and then you've got Tenacity and Into the Fray, because he's good. And then, what were the other 2 options? Oh, I think instead of the Snow Troopers, I had the Shore Troopers, because of the ability to even get standbys on the mortars, because of onboard's comm. If you wanted to give it to the shores, and then you got a T21 on there, and then you still have 17 points left over that you can do some funky stuff with. And maybe, 17 points you give the high energy shells to the lats. So the lats will give orders to the riot squads because they're being transported. And then if you were to give an order to both lats, then you can give an order to Darth Vader and General Veers. And then you're probably playing the 2-pip where you can, let's see, where is it? Evasive maneuvers to give them nimble. Or, sure, you can play, the General Veers 2-pip right here. But General Veers is 3-pip, gives a free recover action to Kallus. And Kallus is able to take the free recover action to get back the immobilized tokens while Operative Vader comes and takes over that unit, choking them and doing some fun stuff with the, scatter. Because I think you can still rearrange a unit with scatter even if they have immobilized tokens, if I'm not mistaken. And you still have improv in here. So anytime that you at least give the lats an order, they can give out a free order to Vader and or Veers. So that way you at least, whenever you're not playing a command card from Vader, you're actually still able to give him an order. So that is a lot of fun. So let's see. The better version of this double atlas with TIE Pilot, Go Buster shells for scatter. I know, but they don't surge, so it's just tough. And Operative Vader already has the scatter. I have done that before, though. That was actually in one of my other lists a while ago. But in order to make room for stuff, because that's 12 points for the Bunker Busters. It just kind of depends, if you've got those points left over. Like if you don't have a T21B, then yes, I would go with the Bunker Busters instead. Then you might be able to get riots out in melee thanks to some clever scattering. For sure, that's actually that was the point of that old list. And it was 10 activations as well. Like I said, I didn't have the snows in there. I only had shores in there, though. Now, how hard is it to hide the transported unit with lat since it doesn't block line of sight? Well, you're just going to try to find, stuff on the board that actually blocks line of sight. Door Gunners have been so bloody good on my lats. Well, because you're playing them in Gar and not Empire, so you're able to give yourself a free Surge token, and if they're in 212th, you can give them a free Aim token and a Surge token. So that's why your gunners, Door Gunners on your lats have been doing really good. I don't know, maybe just Infiltrate Courage on my, Infinite Courage on my army with Commander Vader. That's why you like the Commander Vader's the Infinite Courage. Yes, I agree. Sure, the Infinite Courage is nice, but then I also want a unit that's going to be in play a little bit longer, or I should say that's going to get into play faster, still get a bunch of tokens to stay alive, and still do a lot more between scatter, push, choke, already getting tons of surge tokens with Into the Fray, still getting 6 red dice with Tenacity, still Pierce 3, still Impact 3. But you also gain Surge to crit when you're going up against any kind of Force user. So there's just more bloodshed with Operative Vader, which makes it a little bit better. So if you take Tarkin, Operative Vader, and the Inquisitors, who's your 4th operative? Din. Hands down. I'm going to go with Din because I really love that flamethrower and the fun stuff he provides. Oh, hey, Cockles says Din. Yes, I agree. I love it. Yes, you can, because you're not moving the unit. Okay, that's what I thought. So with Scatter, you're not moving the unit, you're just scattering them. So you can give them the 2 immobilized tokens with Agent Kallus, and then you can scatter them with Vader's, or you can scatter them with Vader, and then, Agent Kallus can then do some stuff. I don't know. It's just really cool. It's just recohering. Be better with him. Yes. So if you have the ability to take this list and so get rid of Dug in, sure. You get rid of high energy shells and you put the Bunker Buster shells on one of them at least. Okay, maybe you do 2. Oh, that's 4 points. You'd be 1 over. Okay. Let's do a high energy. That gives you 3 points. Maybe on the Agent Cat. Oh, well, they don't have grenade slots. What the heck is wrong with that? Maybe with the shores, you only have 3 points left. If you decided to go that way, then yeah, I don't know what you would do with those 3 points. I'm channeling Dave Grant. So I'm gonna have to go now. But if you have the ability, Cockles, to either do an interview with Dave Grant, or if you can help us get Dave Grant for an interview, I would like to set that up with Graham, and maybe talk about, or Grant. So Dave Grant talking to Grant, Saunier, and talk about Empire. I really would love to have that. That would be really cool. But yeah, guys, I'm going to actually have to head out. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a lot about bodybuilding and Legion. So if that was the case, definitely leave a like. Be sure to like this stream. It definitely could use it. And watch out for Discord notification imminent. Okay, thank you. I will definitely look out for one. And now I'm about to be in contact with you now, Cockles. So thanks a lot, guys. I will catch y'all in 5 months. So yeah, y'all take it easy. And may the force be with you. And y'all have a great rest of your evening tonight. Peace out.